to all of our new members. In case you didn't know or got lost, this is the marketing committee meeting. This is our last one of the year, as we said at the beginning. So we'll see you all next year after this. Here's the conference info, but you all have it if you made it here. Also, in case you didn't hear the thing from Zoom, this call will be recorded. So if you don't want to be recorded, please don't say anything and stay off of camera. We're recording it so you can see it in case you missed the meeting 1 month. You can also find all the slide decks and all the recordings on YouTube and in the committee folder too. Our next one is going to be Wednesday, January 5th. Hope to see you in the new year with new resolutions, hopefully still not recovering from New Year's Eve, staying up too late. Yeah, and just a reminder, this is a Linux Foundation meeting and it's involving industry competitors. Please don't do anything in antitrust because this is the marketing committee meeting and we don't want this to be the legal committee meeting. Yeah, so don't break antitrust laws. With that, we have the same agenda as always, and let's jump into it. So our first one is the announcements. So we do have a marketing committee and member survey open now through December 10th. We use this as an opportunity to get feedback from you as a committee and you as our members to see how we can improve our programs going into next year. So if there's something that you really love, we'd love to hear about it and see what worked well for you. If there's something you'd like improving, please also tell us so that we can make the community better for you. And finally, if there's something new that you'd want to see, we'd love to hear that too. We like to be a community and member-driven organization. I think most of our best ideas have come from the community. So please provide your feedback in the survey. The next one is the nomination for the 2022 Marketing Committee Chair has been extended. And Lexi, I don't know, I think you said you wanted to add a couple of things here. So yeah.
Well, I think you guys kind of covered it. It is a great opportunity for networking and just to help to shape the meetings. But it's also just helpful to kind of help other people navigate through the ecosystem. And I know it's kind of intimidating to take this on. I know everybody kind of has a hefty workload in their daily jobs, but I just want to say that Bill and Christy have made it such a pleasure, and they really make it easy to take part of this. And it is a perfect chance to really help have an impact on our community. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Privately. I'm sorry, I'm a little sick right now. If you have any questions about the role, and yeah, good luck to all the candidates.
Thank you, Lexi. It's been a pleasure working with you this year, and I'm excited to get to see who we work with next year. Though a little bit sad that you won't be our chair again. So
it's all right. We could still be friends, Bill.
A happy, sad cry. Cool. Moving on to other announcements. In case you missed the blog post, CNCF is going to be transitioning. Well, we have been transitioning off the Meetup platform for quite some time onto the Cloud Native Community Groups platform. It's now finally going to be official. The CNCF Meetup Pro subscription is going to be ending on December 31st. So if you organize a Cloud Native meetup, please make sure you check out the blog post and the FAQ. This will help answer any questions that you have. If you have any more questions about it, please reach out to me. And all the stuff is going to be in the blog post. If you're one of the meetup members who are switching, we're super happy to host you on the new Cloud Native Community Group platform if you haven't switched already. Next thing is we are also end-of-lifing the Speakers Bureau. We found that there really wasn't that much engagement on the platform. People weren't finding it useful anymore. Emails have been sent out to anyone that still uses the information there. We would strongly encourage you, if you're looking for speakers for your next event, to reach out to some of our CNCF ambassadors. They're all around the globe, and especially now in the pandemic times, I'm assuming a lot of people are doing things virtually, and they're great resources to be found in lots of different time zones around the world. So that's a great resource for finding speakers. Next one is our KTP updates. This is our special tier of Kubernetes training partners. These are people who have the knowledge, skills, and certifications to help enterprises on their learning journey in cloud native. We now have a searchable web page for you. So thank you to Andrew and Stephanie in our community for driving this work. As I said before about the survey, this idea came from Andrew and Stephanie. So this is once again a community-driven initiative. If you want to have your information updated, please submit this form before September 10th. If you don't do that, you'll have to update the information on your own through the landscape, which you can do at any point, but we're just trying to simplify for this. And so to just give you an example of how this works right now, if we go to this KTP page, we can see that there's 58 of them, and then we can now sort by certification, training types, and which country that they're in. We hope this will be a useful resource for people that are looking for their next training partner. Next one is the online programs calendar is now open for Q1. I know I haven't set my New Year's resolutions yet, but you can already for Q1. You can book in your online program. So strongly encourage you to jump the gun and get started on planning for what you're doing next year. Then finally, we'd like to celebrate a couple of the wins because we aren't having those meetings on December 24th or December 31st, sadly. A little sad, happy cry there. We want to celebrate a couple of wins that we've had this year. We had over 4,000 subscribers to Cloud Native TV on Twitch. We hosted our first hybrid KubeCon Cloud Native Con with over 23,000 attendees. We had over 12 KCDs all around the world with over 7,500 attendees. Like, as my little baby, I'm really proud of that one. Just a happy cry there. We have 12,000 views generated from CNCF online programs, 167 programs hosted, 200K subscribers on the CNCF mailing list, and we published 7 case studies and have 2 new characters in the Fippy and Friends, Linky and Hazel. So yeah, a couple of the wins. I'd also like to hear about a couple of the wins from the community too. So if you're comfortable, feel free to add a couple things in the comment, what's your biggest highlight of this year? What did you learn from the community? Or if anybody wants to say a couple words, we have, a couple minutes we can, I'd love to hear about what are you celebrating at the end of the year here? Anybody? There's no wins this year? I don't believe it.
We did the hybrid events this year, so that's a big one. I mean, for me at least, we survived.
Yeah, that's a big one. I was just going to add, it's been a really challenging year, going into 2021, not knowing with the uncertainties of the pandemic. And then I think, as marketers, it's also been challenging to market events and just figure out what a hybrid looks like and all of these things. So I'm glad that we've been able as, a community to come together and share some of those best practices and work together on that. But we all survived, which is a huge win in itself, right?
That sounds really dark for some reason, sorry.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, it was challenging, but we did it. And yeah, looking forward to 2022 and seeing what that looks like.
Yeah, definitely. Also, a couple things from the chat. I would be very remiss to not mention that Fippy and Friends is now in Italian, thanks to Annalisa and the team at Spark Fabric. They're doing a lot of fun stuff there. Peter is saying that he loved being on Cloud Native TV Twitch. Blake is saying that KubeCon LA was awesome, definitely the highlight of the year. I think that was probably my highlight of the year too, just finally seeing so many awesome members of the community in person, real life. So yeah. Andrew also got to meet his team at KubeCon. So I can say the same. Apparently I'm taller than everybody thought because everybody on the CNCF team is all about the same height. It's a secret they won't tell you. Cool. Also, I guess anything anyone else want to add, or please feel free to keep on posting them in the chat. I'd love to see all the comments about what people love this year.
Really appreciate the work on customer stories and customer references. I think that was a real big transition from where we've previously been, where we're very focused on the code, and now really telling more stories about how customers are using the code.
Yeah, definitely. People love to hear those stories, you know, about, is this some marketing? Well, this is the marketing committee, but what's the actual use case here? Are customers actually using this? And yeah, definitely. Also, Caitlin's pointing out the business value committee launched, and along with the interactive cloud native glossary and landscape guide, also like awesome additions. I'm just like gonna take a hot second here and just like highlight it in case you haven't seen it yet, just because this is also one of my other favorite things. Like everybody like always is like landscape, like so overwhelming. Like what do we even do? How do we understand it? Well, now we have a guide. And this is another thing that was driven by members in the community. So big shout out to Catherine and Jason for helping put this together. If you've ever wondered how to go through it, they've written this awesome guide about each section in here too. So highly encourage you to check that out if you've ever wondering, how do I figure out cloud native? So yeah, lots of great wins here. Like I feel bad, like I feel like there's so many that I missed, and there's just so much great stuff happening in the community that's almost it's even hard for me to keep up with it all. So yeah, wow, yeah, the KCNA exam, like another great one. I have mine scheduled, I think, for next week. So that's the Kubernetes and Cloud Native Associate exam. Super exciting stuff there too. So with that, I don't want to spend too much time. I just wanted to like, you know, throw a couple shout outs, mentions there. Like, you know, we did, I think, really well this year. I'm really blown away by everything that the community has done, and super excited going into 2022. So with that, we'll move on. Happy cry there about all the great things that happened. KCD Italy, oh man, we could go on for days. Okay, so membership, silver members, welcome to all of our new silver members and user supporters and nonprofit members. Also welcome to all the people that said hello at the beginning of this call. It was super nice to meet all the people spread around the world. As you can see, we're a global community. People introduce themselves from St. Louis, from Denver, from Paris. Like, love to see the connections all around the world. New member acquisitions, my data got acquired by DataCore, so the cloud native landscape is continuing to consolidate. On the training and certifications side, we have, you know, people are always signing up. Yeah, just keeps on growing. Cloud native keeps on going. There's about 70,000 people registered for the CKA now. There is over 8,000 registered for the CKS exam. There is 34,000 for the CKAD. Priyanka says, let's get to 1 million by the end of this year, otherwise we don't get our bonuses, so please help us out. I'm kidding, but yeah, good goals there. And we already have 555 people registered for the KCNA. I know I've seen it all over my social media this week of people that are doing it. I'm really jealous that everybody has the sticker before me. So trying to get that one too. Okay, so with that, I'll hand it over to Christy for content marketing.
Awesome. Yeah, if you want to go to the next slide, we can talk about online programs. Yeah, so as Bill was saying earlier, the calendar is now open for our online programs. And if you're new, our online programs are actually our CNCF webinar program. So previously, we just hosted live webinars, and we were doing a lot of those. And then we realized that we had a couple areas to grow in terms of expanding our audience into Twitch, and also experimenting with live streams, opening it up to on-demand webinars and some other opportunities. So I always say that in this call, just because we always have new people. So if you do have questions about what you're eligible for with your membership, this is a member-only benefit, and it's a great way to you know, elevate your company as well as talk about the things that you're doing within the community. So I highly recommend either reaching out to our team, and actually Libby on our team is here. She's the person who runs this and would happy to help. But just if you're curious about, you know, our programs from November, here are just some stats on views and things like that. So great opportunity to take advantage of. And then you can go to the next slide.
Wait, I just want to like jump in here, Christy. This is like a TV infomercial. We just got a call in from Libby. She's saying we're already having bookings from like 2022. Like slots are going fast. You know, this is really the time. Click on the link
like
now.
a telethon. Get in there, quick.
Yeah, exactly. This is the closet telethon.
It's all happening.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, I love it. Awesome. And then just a reminder too, as it relates to our blogs and metrics, we did launch this. We should have added this actually into one of the wins. Charlie worked on this. It's it pulls the real-time Google Analytics data for all of our CNCF blogs. So if you've ever submitted a blog with us, or if you're curious about kind of what trending topics are really popular, or you just want general stats, this is a great dashboard that you can use. The link's here in the chat or in the slides, and you're welcome to use that. So just a reminder that that's there for you. That was a big ask that we got from our community from last year's member survey. And then you can go to the next slide, and I will actually kick it to Charlie to talk about case studies.
Hey, Christy. Yeah, so case studies, get your case studies in before the holidays. I have a number of folks, both members and end users, who are looking to submit case studies this month. So if you have a case study and you would like us to publish it before the holidays, please get in touch ASAP. Before December 10th, ideally, because we have a lot of content production going on at the moment. So yeah, looking forward to maybe not potentially festive case studies, but case studies in the festive season. And again, the process and the link to actually kick off your case study proposal is here on the slide under GitHub.
Great, thanks, Charlie. And Bill, if you want to go to the next slide, I'll briefly talk about Cube Weekly. So Cube Weekly is our weekly Kubernetes and cloud native newsletter. It's sent out every Friday. The content here is put together by a group of editors within the community. And as members, you're welcome to submit your own content. If you do have questions about our guidelines, how to submit, all the information is in here on the slides. But just a little update for you on where our metrics are at for November here. Continues to just kind of truck along, and another great place to highlight content that you've already produced. And with that, I'll hand it over to Katie on our PR team.
I'm going to jump in here really quick. So Hillary's asking about how do I update my info on the landscape if I want to, or for my company. And I just want to say this is all updated like by the community. You can find all the information here on GitHub if you want to be able to do this, and it'll tell you how to do it. Basically, essentially, you're just going to create a pull request against the landscape YAML, and that's how you update stuff. But all the information is there. So sorry, with that, I'll hand it over to Katie for ARPR.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, we've had a good amount of coverage still rolling in from KubeCon. So just a few to highlight. We set up a couple of new projects, new incubating projects, Crossplane and Open Telemetry, to speak with the new stack at KubeCon. And so they did a great podcast there. And then the next one is one of our end user members, Niantic, who created Pokemon Go. That was a really great podcast. I'd recommend listening to it. And then another great article on the new KCNA exam. We connected Katie Gamanji, who actually helped to create the exam, to speak with one of our contacts at Container Journal. So that's another good read as well. And then we had two projects move into incubation. So the first one was Dapper, and we got some good coverage around that, which you can take a look at to learn more about the project. And then we also had Longhorn. And then I will pass it over to Carl to talk to the industry analyst highlights.
Hey everyone. Yeah, so over the past month, we've seen the past month and this upcoming month, we've seen the analyst industry and analysts publishing a lot of predictions for 2022. So Trisha and I went through and we highlighted some of the articles that caught our eye. So if you guys have subscriptions, I strongly recommend you click down into some of these and pull out some of that information. Two of note is this worldwide application performance market software forecast, as well as the cool vendors for cloud computing. But yeah, it's all pretty good. There's also been some great content coming out around in Forrester and Gartner in their blogs. So if you're looking for some great kind of holiday season reading to just kind of up level yourselves, some great free content on there for marketing and so on. And then this month, we also saw the Gartner Security and Risk Summit, which is one of the biggest security summits of the year. And I just wanted to pull out some of the highlights because as security is becoming more and more of a threat, and it's starting to permeate and become a key buyer decision for companies. Some of the cool statistics coming out of that, or interesting statistics, is that ransomware demands are up 518%, which is kind of incredible. And then 66% of CIOs increased their cybersecurity investments in this coming year, will increase their cybersecurity investments for this coming year. So Gartner's also making some of those predictions for this upcoming year. And then finally, 2022 Forrester predictions are out. Some highlights from that is there's this great quote that came out from there that rather than being supplementary or nice to have, cloud native will become the core of the cloud native strategy in 2022 moving forward. So that's fantastic. There's a whole bunch of interesting stuff to dig into there. Just go ahead and click down on that and pull out some more great information. But that's about it from the analyst community from this past month.
Thanks, Carl. And then just for anyone that's new to the calls, we do track media coverage, looking at key messages and then coverage of our projects. So this first slide here is key messages. I think unsurprisingly, security is leading the way, followed by storage, and then networking. We saw also a big jump in over this past month. And then for the next one, in terms of projects, Kubernetes continues to lead the way, and Prometheus as well. And then the next one is our incubating projects. So open telemetry and Crossplane just moved in, so we saw a good amount of coverage there. And that's it.
Cool. Thanks, Katie and Carl. And with that, we will move to the events section. So it has been an extremely busy month for the Kubernetes Community Day program. We had 5 different events going on all around the world. So there was KCD Italy. Shout out to Annalisa and the team at Spark Fabric and the team for KCD Italy. Really fun stuff there. It was cool to see finally people talking about Kubernetes in Italian. I didn't understand any of it, but I still love the language. KCD Washington, DC, the beginning of the month, KCD Indonesia as our largest KCD ever so far with 1,357 attendees. KCD Shanghai is our second in-person one, and KCD Guatemala, which is our first one that had a day just for students with just student speakers. That was actually even bigger than the day for professionals. So I'm excited to see where the community in Guatemala is going to be going after this. Stay tuned, definitely. Coming up next month is going to be KCD Brazil, organized by the team here at CNCF, and there is a whole bunch more planned for next year. If you're interested in organizing or attending a KCD, I'd encourage you to reach out to me, reach out to one of the organizers. I'm always super happy to talk about the program. So yeah, please do. Is there a calendar for KCD somewhere? So the easiest way is to just look at the marketing committee slide deck every single month. It's also in all the issues on GitHub. So I can just go to the repos right now, actually. So sorry. So you can find the dates in all the issues, but none of the dates have been announced for any of the other ones next year. So that's why they don't have an official date yet. Yeah. So events that we'll be at through the end of the year, next week, our friends Libby and Christy will be at the Risk5 Summit. If you want to say hi to the CNCF team, please stop by our booth there. Otavio, rewinding a second, thanks for the offer to help on Brazil, and I'd be super excited to have one in Portugal. I would love to see an event there. Yes, we'll also be at Open Source Summit Japan virtually in 2 weeks too. There is also the Open Source Summit, KubeCon Cloud Native Con plus Open Source Summit China, December 9th and 10th. We would love to see you there. And we would like to say thank you to our sponsors, especially our strategic and diamond sponsors, Huawei Cloud, Intel, and Alibaba Cloud. We also, in case you have forgotten when the next KubeCon Cloud Native Cons are, they're May 16th to 20th in Valencia. Super excited to be there in the spring and eat some oranges. They're December 24th to 28th in Detroit. October 24th to 28th in Detroit, Michigan. As a Midwesterner, I'm super excited to see KubeCon finally landing there. And also Q4 2022 is KubeCon Cloud Native Con China. So excited for all those events coming up. For the sponsorship opportunities, I know everyone's always super excited about that. The sponsorship prospectus is now available for Europe and North America, with China coming later this year. If you want to request a contract already, I know some people have already been on it. Please contact sponsor at cncf.io. And there are the important dates in case you need to know when they are. And there's also the 2022 Diamond Sponsorship Lottery. I guess the important ones are for KubeCon Europe. You need to have a signed contract by January 27th at midnight Pacific time. And the drawing will be on January 28th for that. For North America, once again, there's 2 drawings, so January 27th and for June 9th. So yeah, with that, we are done with the meeting today. Super happy to stick around, talk about any wins that anybody in the community has, any questions that people have. Yeah, I'd love to hear from you. We're also done now, so you can also feel free to drop out. We're here for whatever you want to do.
If I may chime in real quick, thank you, Bill, Christy, Charlie, and PRAR team for an awesome meeting, for a good closeout to the year. So grateful to everyone in the community who joins regularly, who is making use of all these offerings that we bring to the table. I just wanted to make a shout out that CNCF is growing and hiring, and if you or folks you know who are interested in operational roles, marketing type roles, or developer advocacy style roles, please feel free to connect me. I'm looking for mid-level to senior, and this is intentionally vague right now because we're figuring out job descriptions and the team and I are discussing, but I wanted to put the word out there so that people who are interested, people who could be interesting, let's get the funnel going. So, people, you're welcome to send them along to, I think the best move would be to send them to Bill or Christy, and we will work together and catch up with anyone we can. Thank you.
Also, thanks for that, Priyanka. Also, going back to Silvia's question, there actually is a calendar for KCDs. I totally forgot about this. I dropped the link in the chat if you want to know about that. So it's in the community events. And as you can see, the only ones that are scheduled right now is Brazil and then Amsterdam at the end of the year. So that's where they actually are all listed. The other thing from Lexi is there is now a jobs marketing channel. So Priyanka, once we have those job descriptions up, we definitely have to post them in the jobs marketing channel. I'll drop a link to this too, so people can join that. So if you're interested in a new job, I won't tell your current employer, I'll just send them a Slack. No, I'm kidding. You should check it out. There's always lots of things happening around the cloud native community. fun companies to join or like be a part of, or maybe someone in your network is looking for a job. So, and if you're looking to hire, feel free to post your job opportunities in there too. This is where the community connects and gathers. So we'd love to see that as a great resource for the community too. Otavio, how can I get access to today's meeting slides? So I can drop a link for them in the chat, and then also in there you can see the link to the folder too. Oh, thanks, Christy. Christy beat me to it, so just a little bit too slow today. You know, it's winter here. We're just like kind of like hunkering down with like a cup of tea.
It's all good. I also just wanted to mention that if you're interested in more statistics about the year with CNCF as it relates to projects and other things, we will have the annual report that Charlie is hard at work on. And I'm really excited for that to drop. That'll come probably right before Christmas. So be on the lookout for that. And then going into January 2022, we'll also have the results from our annual survey. So a couple of key content pieces coming from us. We'll probably have some slides on that in our next marketing committee meeting, but just wanted to give everyone a heads up on that.
Thanks, Christy. Blake, thanks for joining us today. I'm glad you enjoyed the conversation today.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Good.
Bye.
Thanks all.
Thanks for
Happy New
coming.
Year.
Enjoy the
Bye.
holidays.
Holidays.
Woo, woo.
Bye.
Bye.